Hey, we're here with Bobby Long. Thanks so much for taking the time,
Oh,
man.
no, thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. I just got the record a couple days ago from your publicist, and I can't stop listening to it.
Oh, thanks.
First of all, your voice is quite mature for a guy who's in what, your mid-20s?
Yeah.
How long have you been singing?
I kind of picked up singing later, when I was like, 20.
Right.
I kind of always had a bit of a problem with it because I always had like a natural rasp to it, and I always thought that I was singing wrong. Or, even though all my favourite singers were, people like Joe Cocker and stuff like that.
Right.
But and it took me a while just to get used to it. I think like anybody singing it takes a little while to work out how to sing and what is your voice without singing with an accent, or trying to sing like Tom Waits, or trying to sing like, a number of people. So it took me a little while, but it has got like a natural rasp to it, I guess.
How long have you been playing guitar? Because
Since I was about 18.
yeah.
I've always been into music and stuff, but always been surrounded by it. But I just kind of picked it up later on,
Was learning the guitar and singing part of writing your senior thesis? I mean, you wrote it on the social impact of American folk music.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine that knowing how to play this instrument helps in that process.
Yeah, it's especially, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I used to play those songs,
Yeah.
and my dad used to play those songs to me as a kid, and Peter, Paul and Mary, and Joan Baez and Bob Dylan. So that's kind of the reason. It was kind of an easy way out for me.
Right.
I like doing that. I asked the guy, my teacher, what I could do, and he was, that was one of the options. I knew a lot about it, and because I was kind of starting to tour a bit too, I didn't spend a whole lot of time at university, so I was just trying to make it as easy on myself as I could.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I think most students do that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. There seems to be I don't want to say a folk revival because that sounds so cliche, but in England specifically, there seems to be, well, it is. I mean, it's people getting back in touch with folk. Mumford & Sons are here tomorrow, and the guys from Keane put out the Mount Desolation record, which is very folky, more country than folk, but there really seems to be this renaissance going on, particularly in England, around this music.
Yeah.
Is there something specific that has started that, you think?
I don't know, it was weird. I was never a part of it, really. I was a couple of years younger than Mumford & Sons, and Mumford & Sons and people like Johnny Flynn, who's really, really great, and Laura Marling, that they kind of had their own thing. It always seemed to be blossoming and getting stronger and stronger, and now one of the guys from Mumford & Sons has got his own record label thing called Communion, which is doing really well too. So I don't know. It's kind of happened. It's been difficult. It's difficult for me to kind of really go into the depths of it, just because I wasn't.
Right.
Like, I'm not there, and I've never really wanted to be. I've always wanted to be in America doing it.
Right,
for me, this is the birthplace of all the music that I loved as a kid. So I always wanted to come over here and do it.
Right.
But those guys have done it really well, and like Mumford & Sons is huge at the moment. I mean, it's insane, and I saw them a couple of years ago when I first started playing around London, and they were really great then. They've done really well.
Let's get the story of Bobby Long straight for people who may not have heard of you till today. You were recording your own music. You put out Dirty Pond songs on your own, something that you just recorded, I guess, with an acoustic guitar in your flat.
It was very much like this, except that a smaller room and a weird German guy just pressing start and stop. My friend Jan did that. And it was very much like this. It's just one bang bang. I think we were about to go to America for the first time for some shows in New York, LA, and Nashville, and we just kind of decided, me and my manager and some other people publicists decided that I needed something,
Right.
I think it'd be extremely arrogant to come over to America and not have something to show for myself, show at least, give to a record label or something, or give to a person on the street, So we recorded it with not much thought, and then we ended up selling it at shows, basically just to get from one city to the next.
Right.
And it's cool,
That DIY approach, though, is similar to how many of those artists that you probably talked about.
Yeah, I mean, they all did that. I didn't even realize at the time, but it's kind of how all of those guys, like even further back from like Woody Guthrie to Robert Johnson.
Right.
It was more like the way I view that thing is more of like the Dirty Pond Songs thing was just documenting. It wasn't trying to, you know, I wasn't trying to make a concept album or trying to win a Grammy or trying to, you know, trying to, for anyone else. It's just documenting those songs for that period of time.
Right.
And I guess that's the same way that all you know, Robert Johnson and Woody Guthrie were doing too. It was, they weren't trying to make a great album, they were just trying to put their songs onto tape so they could move on, you know, right. and write more songs.
And thank God we found those tapes. I mean, Bob Dylan just released some stuff, some early acoustic stuff.
Yeah,
too,
I haven't heard that yet. I'm still on the
This is bootleg series number 9.
Oh well, I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm still on the earliest stuff.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You know, like,
it's incredible.
It's incredible. I know it's same with like Robert Johnson as well. Thank God he recorded. I mean, I think he recorded like once, and that's all we have of him. But it's incredible. You know?
So you came over in 2009, right? In the spring of 2009, and that's really where people started hearing your stuff in North America. Be remiss if I didn't mention Twilight and your friend Mr. Pattison, who you worked on the soundtrack, right?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, me and him didn't even collaborate really. It was more just he got hold of the song that me and my friend wrote, and he just took it away. And like, you know, I've never played that song ever, you know,
right.
and he did a good job of it, you know, and it was cool. And I think it was half. It was a good song and the producers liked it from that point. I don't think it's a particularly great song. If I did, I would play it, but I think he did a really great job of it. But I also think it was, you know, maybe he was trying to do a good thing and trying to, you know, give his friends a break and share the, you know, share his good fortune and hard work with us too, which was a really nice thing to do.
And now you have a group of 15-year-olds chasing you around the world?
No, actually, not at all. Actually,
no.
I mean, it might have been like at the start, but
right.
You know, I've grown a beard and stuff now. They don't like that kind of stuff.
They don't like that stuff.
No, they don't. But no, it's just got. I've slowly just transformed it into my own thing.
Yeah.
At the start, it very much was, you know, about the film and my connection with it. But you know, very quickly, if you come to one of my shows, I don't play it and I don't talk about it, so people can't really get anything from it. You know,
right.
So they either hang around or they don't. And, you know, it's cool. You know, it was a really good break for me, and you know, I feel lucky that I've been able to turn it into my own thing.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Cool.
Which is great.
And is that where ATO finally found you? It was in that period, in that spring period when you were in town in North America.
Yeah, I think the first communication was it was pretty much then, and we kept in touch, and I was in no rush to sign, you know, to a record label. I wanted to develop and feel that, you know, I wanted to make my own decisions, and that was when I kind of, they were always going to be the label I signed to. You know, it was more the thing was just letting me develop and find our feet and work out how we can best make this work before we go to the lawyers. But it was always a kind of a handwritten handshake thing. And,
right.
And then I wanted to record my own album, and I did that just before I signed to them.
Right.
You know, which was great, and they really loved it, and we got everything finalized. You know.
The new record doesn't come out till February, produced by Liam Watson, who's notorious for working with acoustic instruments and getting really to the roots of musicianship and all of that. Was the record recorded live off the floor? Is it just you and? Yeah,
it's just live off the floor, just me and these musicians that he records, and he records a whole wide bunch of music, you know, from country to punk, you know, to kind of heavy metal, you know, Black Sabbath kind of stuff, to, you know, rock and roll. He loves everything, and yeah, he got this bunch of musicians together, and we kind of really became close. We didn't become close before, but we were on the same lines. We loved the same music, and we went in there and we did everything how we wanted to do it, and luckily we had the same ideas, you know, by doing it live and capturing the moment, you know, which was great, really good.
For somebody who's new to this, is it the songwriting that comes first, or is it the actual playing and the melody of playing, or what is it for you that comes first?
I don't know, you know, it's different. I was writing something in the van up here, and the lyrics came first, and you know, I was writing these lyrics to the melody of like Chelsea Hotel by Leonard Cohen, just so I could have some kind of form and structure, you know.
You're kind of in the right place to do
Leonard Cohen stuff. Absolutely. So I was doing that, and so, you know, that could be a song and the lyrics will come first. But often or not, I was telling my tour manager, you know, he was asking, and I like doing it all in one thing. So I like just sitting down and capturing a moment the same way that I record. You know, I just want to do it there and then, and no mucking around. And so often it's a collaboration of the two at the same time.
What's the record called for people who should be looking out for in February?
Yeah, the record's called A Winter Tale, and it's coming out through ATO Records 1st of February, and should be in all major stores, I guess.
And some of your older songs that you've been playing for a while also appear on the record. Are they reworks, reinterpretations of that stuff, or is it just the older stuff to get people attuned to some of the stuff that you've been writing?
Well, it's like, because I never released anything before, like I guess this is going to be their first form of, of these are the songs, you know. A couple of people contacted me and said, I love the acoustic stuff, and that's great, you know, and the stuff. And like, I've changed some acoustic songs, and now with the band, and that's kind of how I've always imagined them.
Right.
So the album, the songs on the album are kind of the definitive versions of the songs, but it's got a mix of old stuff and new stuff. Cool. You know, yeah.
Are you listening to any contemporary artists? I mean, it's great that you referenced Joan Baez and Bob Dylan and
oh yeah.
You mentioned the raspy voice. When I first put on the record, I thought of Ray LaMontagne almost immediately, but I'm sure that you're listening to people like him and other people.
Yeah, I listen to stuff all the time, you know, like I've always listened to something. I really like Ray LaMontagne's first 2 records. They're really cool. The guy who's actually doing the artwork for my record did his artwork too, wow. which is really cool. He's got an incredible voice, and I really like My Morning Jacket, and a great band. And
Label mates, right?
Yeah, label mates. I have to plug them. Rodrigo and Gabriella too were amazing. I was on tour with them, and they're amazing. Really,
they are.
Got me into that kind of music.
It's freaky how good she is.
Yeah, she's incredible. she's incredible. He is phenomenal too. You know, I like the Felice brothers. There's a whole lot. I really like Johnny Flynn too.
Right.
And I like there's lots of incredible music out there at the moment. You know, but at the same time, one of the guys in the band just recently got me into John Prine, and I'm amazed that I haven't listened to him before.
Angel of Montgomery's.
It's a cracking song. But I heard that first because I really love Bonnie Raitt. She does that version.
Yeah.
And we were singing it together, and I was like, "Oh, you like Bonnie Raitt?" He goes, "No, I like John Prine." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll check him out." You know?
Your boss, pseudo boss, Dave Matthews, does a great cover of Angel of Montgomery as well, so you should check that out.
Yeah, he's. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him yet. I should do, because he is the boss, you know.
Yeah.
I lucky enough played with, was on the same billing as him at Mile High, and his band are great. It's kind of bizarre to me how big he is over here and how big he isn't in England.
Right.
You know? I just kind of amazed that hasn't crossed the water yet. You know?
Well, you know, by the same token, a band like Gomez, who's huge in England, unfortunately hasn't found their niche in North America, which is weird.
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre. Like they're on ATO too. They're going to love you. You know.
We've met and we've chatted, and I love it. The joke with the publicist in Canada is that ATO is one of my favorite record labels, and it's because, well, the Dave Matthews relationship, but I think the commitment to really cool music, you know, My Morning Jacket was on that label for so long before they broke, and just that label made the commitment to My Morning Jacket and stuck with Jimmy James for so long.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, they everything's long term with them, and they're old school from that sense that they want to see the artists develop, but they're also very, very much switched on to modern music and the business and how it's not all about selling records anymore. You know, it's all about the touring, and you know they like good live acts. You know, that's one of the things I'm really trying to work on is get my live show together. You know, and because I want to be up there with Dave Matthews and My Morning Jacket, who are incredible live, and Rodrigo and Gabriella. But they're great. You know, they're really great. Are
you big into Facebook or Twitter? Do you do all that stuff?
You know what? No, that kind of stuff. It just makes me feel sick. You know, like, Facebook's all right. I've got one. You know. I've got like a fake one that lets me look at my little nephew occasionally and see how he's doing and talk to my sisters. But I'm all right with it. You know, I get told that the main reason my management has goes at me is because I don't Twitter enough.
Yeah.
You know, I don't tell people what's going on. But I don't know. I do it because I have to do it. I have no pleasure logging into Twitter and telling them what I'm eating for dinner. You know,
yeah.
I just don't care. You know, loads of great people out there I admire. I just don't care what they're eating or, you know, where they are.
Well, thanks so much for tuning us into your music.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Ahead of time, and we look forward to the album release in February and having you back to do so much more. So cheers, man.
I love you. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.